From Durham, North Carolina, it's semifinal action at the WPBA Carolina Classic, presented by the American Pool Players Association. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tar Heel state of North Carolina. Mitch Lawrence and Dawn Hopkins. Happy to have you with us, Dawn. A terrific week in Durham so far. Getting down to the end of it, two tremendously talented players in Vivian Villarreal of the United States and Jasmine Ocean of Austria.
Yes, Jasmine Ocean is coming off a couple of events that have really built her confidence up. Vivian, on the other hand, just had a tough loss at the U.S. Open, but she's an explosive player, so let's see if she can get that tornado whipping things up here. All right, great. An interesting matchup for sure. Let's get to it right now.
Number one here in Durham, North Carolina, rock and roll.
So here we go, the lag for the opening break. There's our matchup. Vivian Villarreal, the Texas Tornado from San Antonio in Texas. Jasmine Ocean from Klagenfurt in Austria on the right. And the lag will go to Vivian Villarreal. Our rules of the game: 9-ball played with a cue ball, object balls 1 to 9. You have to hit the lowest numbered ball on the table first. Game is over when the 9-ball is made. And you see our tournament director and referee, Steve Tipton, getting our first rack set. One of these two will move into the finals. Vivian Villarreal, 4 times this week. She had the opening break in a match, and Dawn, it is a key stat. Let's see if she can capitalize.
Good rack, Mark.
Well, she made a ball, Mitch, on the break. Look at this. She has the 1 ball in the corner pocket. It's quite a thin cut. The 2 is looking good, though, Mitch. So she just has to focus on thinning this ball, coming back and forth across the table. Oh.
Oh, it's the first game. Calm down.
And so it begins.
I'm allowed to miss.
And so it begins, the interaction between Vivian and the crowd, which will obviously take place throughout this match. Jasmine, much more of an inner player, does not interact as much. But this is an opportunity that I don't think she thought she would have right off the bat, Dawn. Big mistake by Vivian.
That's right, especially on the first rack. This is going to pump Jasmine up right from the beginning. So Vivian's going to have to be careful not to do that anymore in this match.
And I think it's actually kind of critical. She said it's early in the match, she's allowed to miss, but what she does not want to do is let Jasmine Ocean establish any kind of momentum and control over the match, and by giving her this first rack opportunity, that's what she's doing.
Right, this shot here, she's going to have to shoot with high left-hand English to spin the cue ball back around for that 4. You see the 4 up at the top of the table.
Tremendously talented player, Jasmine Ocean. Been playing since she was a young kid, 3 years old, and is, I think, moving right into her wheelhouse right now. You see her moving around this table. We'll quickly give you the rules of the match. It's a race to 7 to move to the finals. 30-second shot clock and 1 extension per rack on the players. We will alternate the break, and it is foul on all balls.
Boy, Jasmine really looks comfortable out there right now, Mitch. She's making easy work of this rack. Just needs to leave a little bit of an angle for the 7 ball so that she can come back down the table for the 9.
Jasmine, the 2006 BCA Open 9-ball champion. A real breakthrough win for her, and I think all of us, Dawn, have been waiting for Jasmine to keep breaking through and win events and kind of start piling them up. She's that talented, so we'll see if this will be the week to add another one to the BCA.
She wants to stop up high off the 9-ball. A lot of players have a tendency to let the cue ball drift down too far close to the corner pocket.
Jasmine Ocean with a little bit of a fist pump. The first time meeting between these two players. She jumps out on top here in North Carolina. As the WPBA Classic 9-ball tour moves into its fall season, 2 of its most talented players go after 1 spot in the final in North Carolina. Vivian Villarreal, the Texas Tornado, former Player of the Year, eminently talented, but agonizingly winless since 1998. Jasmine Ocean of Austria, fresh off her history-making third-place finish in the men's straight pool world championships, has one major title on the women's side and is hungry for another crown. Fireworks are sure to follow as a fittingly electric week winds down in Durham.
This ESPN presentation of the WPBA Carolina Classic presented by the American Pool Players Association is brought to you by Durham, where great things happen. By the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league. And by Brunswick Billiards since 1845, the standard of superior craftsmanship preferred by experts around the world.
We are happy to be here at American Tobacco, a registered historic site restored from an 1800s tobacco factory. And now downtown Durham's entertainment district. With Durham Bulls baseball, a new performing arts center, outdoor concerts, art exhibits, events, restaurants, everything from Broadway to baseball is at American Tobacco. Vivian Villarreal's week here in Durham. It has been a good one. A couple of wins early, a loss to Karen Corr. And this is the way to rebound. 9-2, 9-2, and a big-time win, 9-8 over Helena Tornfeld. We'll talk about that match in a little. It was a close one for Vivian. Jasmine Ocean. And that, Dawn, you want to talk about stats. 7 out of every 10 times she has the break, she winds up winning that particular rack. That is big. The 9 very close to the corner.
Yeah, look at this, Mitch. This is one of the reasons that percentage is so high. She's got the Karen here, the 2 into the 9. Very short game I see coming up here, Mitch.
She and her coach, Michael Newman, after last year, did a lot of work. After 2007, they had a disappointing year, they thought. And one of the things they worked on, Dawn, was the break, big time. And is it ever paying off for Jasmine? Nice, nice, nice.
That was awesome. What she did is she came off the rail first, and look at that. She hits the correct part of the 9 so that the 9 didn't jaw in the pocket.
So the 22-year-old from Austria staking her claim early in this match against Vivian Villarreal, up by 2 racks trying to get to the final. This fall, one of the most important Old Master exhibitions ever shown in the Southeast came to the Nasher Museum at Duke University. Great example of all the fantastic things you get to do here in Durham. Let's look at these 2 wonderful breaks. Vivian on the left, Jasmine on the right, Dawn.
Right, as you watch both players, they're very similar, except that watch Jasmine, how she really lifts off the ground. Vivian still has her foot on the ground. Jasmine is in the air, literally. That gives her more power.
Vivian gets a lot out of her break, terrific timing, but I agree with you. Very rare to see that kind of athleticism out of a player. Jasmine really showing you what her break is made of. As Steve gets ready, we're going to look at the highlights now from rack number 3. Vivian at the table, Dawn.
She banked a ball, but Vivian just caught it about an inch out of the pocket. So Jasmine takes the combination here, which sets her up for the run out.
And that 9 gives Jasmine Ocean the first 3 racks of this race to 7. Here is her week, and she showed us something too. A loss to Sarah Rousey, a tough loss, and look at the way she came back. Those 2 huge wins over newly ranked number 1 Kelly Fisher, and then Chao Ting Pan 9-7 to get to this semifinal matchup. This is a very, very confident player Coming into the semifinals, we mentioned Dawn about her week a couple of weeks ago at the men's straight pool championship, where she made history, finishing third and having wins over Oliver Ortman and Mika Immonen, two of the great straight pool players in the history of the game. So Jasmine definitely on a high coming in.
She is. She did not make a ball. There's the 1 and the cue ball. The 2 is right there. So Vivian, all she needs to do is pocket the 1, bring it back for the 2 in the side. Little bit of center right-hand English will do that. Well, Mitch, that's no good. See, she came up too high. She did not put enough English on the ball. And as you can see, the other pockets are...
I don't like that 4 ball.
Right, because the pockets are blocked up. So she could play the 2 in the side or the 9 ball. Leave the cue ball back behind the 3 and the 6 as a two-way shot if she plays the 9. Let's see what she does.
Plays the safety. Did she get there?
I don't know. She didn't leave Jasmine with a shot, but I do think that she can slip right through there to hit the 2. So you could kick at it too if she doesn't know. She can definitely see. It's not a whole ball though. That works good, Mitch. This only allows Vivian to kick at the ball. That was a nice, solid hit. And here she can pocket the 2 in the side and come around for the 3 in the corner in the top right, right behind the 3. The 3 is nice and open, so as long as she can make that 2 and get out in the center of the table. That was perfect, Mitch. So here she's just going to shoot the 3, but the 4 is down there. She's going to have to slide the cue ball down and maybe play the 4 in the side pocket or come down and play the 4 in the corner, but I think she has too much angle for that second choice.
You will notice as we look at cueing action that Jasmine will have low left, the difference in rhythm between these two players. Vivian tends to come up and play really quickly, which sometimes Dawn, as we know, can catch up with her and bite her a little bit. Jasmine a little more deliberate, really looks at her options. Plays that safety quickly because she knew exactly what she wanted to do with that one.
Yeah, but I think she drew the cue ball back just a little too much. She wanted to stick the cue ball behind the 7, but see how she allowed the 4 to sneak out in front of the pocket. Now Vivian may have a shot at this 4 ball if it can go by that 5. See, there's the 4. The 5 may be in the way. Now, if she can make the 4, she could draw the cue ball back out for the 5. That's what she's looking to do.
Doesn't sound like it's going to be easy, though, based on her sound effects.
Well, you know, she hasn't really had, okay, she probably couldn't see the whole 4 ball, so now she's decided to play the safe instead.
And does it well.
That was an excellent safety. Great speed. So the 5 here is in the way of the 4. She could go by the 5, kick behind the 4 ball. I think that's probably a good choice. You got these balls in the middle, or she could kind of masse around, but I don't think that's the better choice. I don't think there's room in between the 5 and the 6 to do that. Oh, she caught that a little bit too thin. She wanted to come thicker behind it. Now Vivian's got a shot on the 4. It's a thin cut. She can just play the thin cut, bounce back and forth for the 5 in one of the side pockets. That's too fast. Now she can't go anywhere.
They're hitting them too hard,
It doesn't go by the 6 ball there. She could play the 5 in the side pocket, or she could play the safety, sticking the cue ball behind the 6, making the 5 go in the back rail.
what she does, and it's a very frustrating rack right now for Vivian Villarreal. You can hear it in her voice.
So here, Jasmine has a kick, probably a two-rail kick behind the 5. Either way she can go, whatever she's comfortable with.
Ten.
Again, hits that ball a little thin. She's going to need to start to hit those kicks fatter to get the right thing that she's trying to do out of it.
These are the chances that Vivian needs, Dawn. She's really got to take advantage of these opportunities if she can.
Missed it.
Oh,
Wow.
Mitch, did you see how fast she shot that ball?
And this is just slipping away from her now. Look at that expression on Vivian's face. This is a big miss, Dawn.
It is. She missed it by about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And you have to wonder how she's feeling about that at this point with such a critical miss in that last tournament that cost her the tournament.
You mentioned it in our opening at the beginning of the match, the U.S. Open match against Kelly Fisher. In the quarterfinals, Vivian had a chance to move on. We'll get a little more into that. Let's look at this shot by Jasmine.
Yeah, I don't think she can go by that 8 ball. She may be able to go by. She could play it in the side pocket. Oh, that's a small pocket, Mitch. Wow, look at that. You know, those pockets are tight as it is, and she played just one part of the pocket to make that ball. That was really good shot.
Tournament edition Brunswick Gold crowns in use. And as Dawn said, pockets tight as they should be for the best players in the world. And this is another rack that looks like it's going to go Jasmine's way. And you can see by Vivian's body language, just the way she's sitting back in that chair. Almost more of a spectator right now than being involved. Has to feel very down right now. Question is, can she pull herself back and get back in this match? Jasmine Ocean with the first 4 racks on the board now. Vivian Villarreal zip.
Game
Try
4.
to put one on as we move on. Two players trying to get into the finals here in Durham, but it is Jasmine Ocean all the way with a big-time lead over Vivian Villarreal. Here's some trivia for you, brought to you by Simonis. What specially woven fabric is the great Simonis 860 cloth made from? We'll have the answer when we come back after this. Here for you, our trivia answer brought to you by Simonis. What specially woven fabric is the great 860 cloth made from? Belgium worsted wool, which means no fibers, no fuzz that can come off the cloth and affect the accuracy of the playing surface. Love learning about the game. And we are thrilled to be here in Durham at the American Tobacco campus. Creative entrepreneurial community that is downtown Durham's entertainment district. And Vivian Villarreal's having a tough time of it. Is there a cause? Let's learn a little bit more from Vivian behind the cue.
The last title that I won was in New York, the Brunswick Classic. I'll never forget it. It's been a while. I just been on that little hill I just need to get over. And last tournament, I remembered missing that easy 8 ball. I moved my hand as soon as I shot that. You know, it's like I told my sponsors, if you would have offered me $1 million instead to make it 100 times in a row, I wouldn't miss it. God, I missed that 8 ball straight in. I just, in disbelief. I'm playing well. You know, I've hung in there, I'm playing well, and I just need to get over that hump. I've been really, really, really practicing on my mental game. And that's what has made me stronger. And when I win, I'm going to get on that table and start dancing for everybody.
And I wouldn't put it past her, Dawn. Very talented and normally very upbeat and positive Vivian Villarreal. She's got to make something happen right here and now, down 4-0.
Well, she made a ball on the break, but let's see if she can get a shot. Nope, she did not. The one is over here. She's going to have to kick at this one ball, play a kick safety probably. Coming behind. Now she does have the 5 and the 7 to try to hide those balls behind. That works very well. Now Jasmine is going to be kicking behind, come behind the 1 ball, and again maybe utilize the 5 and the 7, leaving the cue ball out in front of the 5. She almost got that, Mitch. That was very close. A little bit more speed, and see, she would have had the cue ball on the 1 with the 5 in the middle.
I think she would like to have had a little more out of that play. We'll see what Vivian can do with it.
Well, Vivian certainly can whistle.
Oh, a little harder.
Oh, that was not good. Not good ball speed.
Oh.
She is just not taking advantage of these opportunities, and you have got to do it against Jasmine.
Right. She wanted to stick the cue ball behind the 5, but look at this. She left Jasmine with a possible 1-9 combination.
And that's an even bigger deal. To me, it shows just not looking ahead at where that safety was going to wind up anyway.
You have to know where both balls are going. I think Jasmine was trying to come off the rail first, hit into the 9 to make the pocket bigger, but totally missed the 9 going to make the 1 in the pocket. So the 8 ball is in the way here. She could kick behind the 8 ball and just try to play a safety. If she hits the 1 thin, she could possibly make the 1 in the corner, but that's a tough shot. I like this shot right here. That's a great shot.
And you know what's interesting? We heard Vivian talk about bearing down and her mental game and everything else.
I can't make a freaking ball. It's usually the opposite.
You get the feeling, though, with Vivian that if she really did focus and really zoom in on it, she has so much talent to play different shots.
Oh, for sure. I've been on the other end of that talent,
Yep.
Mitch, believe me, and not even getting a chance to get to the table with her. Wow,
Good work by Jasmine, nice.
Another great safety. She jumped the cue ball, left the cue ball back behind all these balls. Perfectly played. So here she's just going to kick.
It was there.
See, I
There
can
you
play
go.
safe by carrying the ball.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. So look at how close. She's going to have to go behind the 3 and kick at that 1. But what a tough shot this is, because the 4's right there. There's really not a lot of room for error. She could come off the rail like she was pointing to hit that 1. But man, this is a tough shot.
Massey's around the 3, just touches the 1.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, Vivian's going to have a play on this, but what a great shot by Jasmine.
Wow, look at how perfectly played
Good
that
shot,
was.
Good shot.
There was not a whole ball for her to hit there.
Oh.
She's just inches away.
Normally those kind of shots, banks, Vivian will fire them in, and clearly has this week. It's been a tremendous week for her already. I think coming back from that U.S. Open miss against Kelly Fisher, getting to the semifinals, and Jasmine now missed a couple in this rack.
Viv.
That's right, Vivian. Needs to get this one on her side, Dawn.
Well, this is not a difficult shot, but she's got to stop the cue ball.
Hey, I made a ball. mom could have made that, please.
Her mom, Gloria, no doubt listening to this and get a chuckle out of it.
Oh.
Can't make a ball. No, what's wrong?
She's just in a funk here, Mitch. Just undercut that ball.
Shot.
Another safety by Jasmine, trying to keep Vivian off balance here and take advantage, Tom.
Yep, she's going to have to kick behind the 5 here to make the hit on the 2 ball. The 5's very close, though, to being in the way. Well, between safeties and kicks, she's right on. If she could pull some of that into her shot making.
Which normally is her strength. That's what tells you she's a little bit off. Because normally Vivian will follow up safety play with some great shot making, and that's how she gets the results that she wants. But look at that right there. This is a distracted Vivian Villarreal from my point of view. We talked about her mom, Gloria, has been a big family time. We'll talk about that in a minute after we watch Jasmine's shot, and she's a little bit off in this rack right now.
Yeah, well, the problem is the 9 is right there in between the 3. She could come off the rail behind the 9, or she could kick down at the bottom rail to hit this 3 ball. The 8 is down there, so the 3 doesn't really have a pocket on this end. Nice.
Good shot, but unrewarded is Jasmine here.
That is a nice shot. She played it with pocket speed.
She's going to have to come off the short rail to get back. Contact, but Vivian will definitely have a shot here. And this is an absolute must. 5 balls on the table, down by 4 racks in a race to 7. Texas Tornado needs to make something happen. I mentioned just a bit ago about a tough time for Vivian, her mom, Gloria. With the passing of Willie, Vivian's father, a short time ago, it has been an emotional time. Vivian acknowledges that. Willie was her guy. Knew everything about her game. She would call him after every match and realized after the loss to Kelly Fisher that she could not do that anymore. It was a big, big time for her.
What a game!
And that's the Vivian that we know right there. And for the first time today, the tornado twirls. And you see the reaction from an obviously excited crowd. They have watched Vivian perform all week, and they want to see it again now. The Texas Tornado finally on the board, still 3 racks away here in Durham. A look at one of the premier public gardens in the United States, the 55-acre Sarah P. Duke Gardens here in Durham, all part of a fantastic atmosphere. We mentioned before about Vivian and the U.S. Open. There's your winner, Kelly Fisher, the newly crowned #1 ranked player in the world with the U.S. Open trophy. And it's been an exciting time for Kelly Fisher, including this association with the APA, which has 270,000 members in 257 leagues across the country. KT Thompson, who's the league operator for Charlotte, has found a unique way to keep her 5,000 members engaged in the game.
I signed a new deal with Charlotte Metro APA for this year, starting January through, and looking forward to having a good year helping promote the league here and the APA as a whole, of course. KT Thompson's my new sponsor, and she's great.
This is the first time a local APA franchise has sponsored a pro player in any state in the United States.
When you get a sponsor, you've got to be able to give something back. And we come up with some great ideas. So we do some exciting things, some coaching, some challenges where you can win prizes and break contests. I think it's fantastic. It keeps people into pool, keeps people interested in the, in the billiards and the sport that we all love.
Oh, they love having her here. And she goes out with me to host locations and talks to players. And she's been very good for our local Charlotte Metro APA. Very good. It's all about the players and making them happy, trying to give them stuff they've never had, and so they want to play.
We're looking at growing together, basically. We're wanting this league here to get bigger and bigger. I'm wanting to get better and better and help promote that.
If they're not happy, they're not going to play or they're going to go somewhere else. And we want them to play in the APA. We think we're the biggest and the best.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this great partnership. It's a great partnership. I'm very happy.
And they will indeed be happy with Kelly Fisher. Congrats to her again on the #1 ranking. Knocked out this week, though, by the woman at the table, Jasmine Ocean. Knocked Kelly out down to 16. Big, powerful break one more time as that one rolls toward the corner.
That was an awesome break. She's got the 2 here to go into the corner. The 3 is up on the rail, no problem. So this is a nice possible run out for Jasmine right here. She's going to drift down the table a little bit for that 3.
We just saw Vivian in the previous rack put one up on her side of the board. Good for her. If you're Jasmine, you want to put an end to that quickly. And this is the way to do it. With a break, make a couple balls. See if you can break and run. Nice angle on the 4.
Okay, the tough part here is that 5 ball. So she's just going to come off the rail and leave the cue ball down. She has to get by that 6, though. You don't want to get stuck behind the 6. And she did that perfectly. She's going to drift up the table, high English right in between the 9 and the 6.
Good work. I mentioned earlier about Michael Newman, about Jasmine's coach, Michael. And the 2 of them are an incredibly talented team. Michael, a world-class sailor, a sportsman, and they have been together since Jasmine was 7 as coach and pupil. No one knows her game better. He's traveled all over the world with her. And it is as close, Dawn, to any other sport I've ever seen where a coach works with an athlete. They are tremendous. And I think a lot of Jasmine's mental toughness comes from working with Michael and really going back over matches. He's a very fearless kind of player, and it's fun to watch. And for the second time in this match, a break and run for Jasmine Ocean. She has done it better than anyone else this week. And extends that lead back up to 4 racks in this race to 7 against Vivian Villarreal. Here in Durham, Jasmine Ocean trying to be the first one into the finals of the Carolina Classic. And now it's time for our tip of the day, brought to you by Q-Tech Cues. Here's Allison Fisher.
I'm here to demonstrate the stance. I stand typically like a snooker player as I grew up in that game. And we stand very square at the table with the right leg in line with the shot, left leg comes slightly forward, and then I fall straight down into the shot. Typically, most pool players stand a little more side on, still on the same line of the shot, the left leg parallel with the cue, and as you can see, my body is facing the corner pocket, so I'm actually 45 degrees from the shot. Either way is fine. What you want to do is be steady and balanced and have a stance that's easily duplicated every time. So back to the snooker stance, down into the shot, and that's the stance.
A look at one of the great creative entrepreneurial cities in America, Durham, North Carolina. And these were our top finishers, brought to you by Mueller. 16 of the great players in the world. Included among those 16, Sarah Rousey, who came in ranked 18th and wound up with a fantastic week in Carolina. Let's learn a little bit more about top finisher Sarah Rousey.
I finished 9th through 16th, and I feel like I played pretty well. It was my first time coming into it on the winner side of things. I've had such luck. I don't know if I have a four-leaf clover, a horseshoe somewhere, because again, if I practice, it's gonna be hard for these girls. I mean, if I can beat one here and there, I might beat them all in one tournament, so they better watch out.
And in the double elimination portion of this event, Sarah had a victory over Jasmine Ocean. She came back, obviously, and is now leading 5-1 over Vivian Villarreal.
One is fallen. Oh, man. She just does not have these easy openings. See where the 6 is in front, the 2 is there on the rail, 6 is in front of the cue ball.
Pushing out now.
So pushing is going to put Vivian at a disadvantage because it's just going to allow Jasmine to play a safety back. She's going to thin the cue ball, the 2 ball, and send the cue ball up by that 3 and 6. Oh, just misses getting it over there. See, she just thinned it. She wanted to come behind the 6 ball. Now Vivian has that 3 and the 6 tied up, so even if she makes that 2, there's no reward.
Don't scratch! Don't scratch!
Looking right at it as it rolled into that corner pocket. Wow.
Yeah, she hit it a little fat, Mitch. And it just went right in. Her error. Whenever you're the one at the table with the cue stick, you're making that shot, you have to know exactly where your cue ball is going.
Jasmine makes the 2, just tried to break that out a little bit and did not get it done.
It's a nice try.
How close this comes, Dawn.
Yeah, if she just hit directly onto the 3, but that was a great attempt.
Playing safety on this 3. Jasmine over Vivian. First time ever that these two have met. I know coming into it, Jasmine was concerned about taking control early and not giving Vivian a chance to get going. And she has certainly done that. That's about all Vivian's been able to do today.
Well, she hasn't had a lot of easy openings. She just thinned the ball. That was perfectly played. Leave the cue ball and the 3 ball in totally separate ends of the table.
Jasmine will come off that rail now.
She made a good hit. Nice hit. She had to masse, use a little bit of English on the cue ball. Masse around, but look how the cue ball just kind of jumps off the table, even when she's not really trying to jump. She's just trying to masse.
I love combinations. Yeah, right.
Vivian's energy level is way down right now. She is so frustrated.
You know, in any sport, once you get to a point where you start questioning what's going on when you're playing the game, anything can happen. And that seems to be what's going on with Vivian. We mentioned about being distracted before, and that seems to have caught up with her. She's had a tremendous week coming in here to make it to the Final 4 of any event.
9 ball.
See, that's what she's kind of doing now. She's just shooting, and then whatever happens, happens right now. That seems to be her attitude.
Well, she's just trying to make something happen. So Jasmine will just use a little bit of low right-hand English. She doesn't have to really come too far out with the cue ball. Just make sure she doesn't get behind that 5, which she's done that perfectly. She's got the 4 straight in here. If there's enough angle, she can pop the cue ball off the rail. That looks pretty straight. Very nice. Now here's where it gets a little tough because the 7 and the 8 are together, and the 7 does not go in the pocket, I don't believe, off the 8. So let's see what her plan of action is. She could try to break them out, or she could just try to play a carom. It looks like she's trying to run into them.
Oh.
I don't know what that was, because the speed was a little easy for her to break it out. Maybe she was trying to come in between the two. Now I believe she'll have to play that carom off the 7 ball, try to pocket the 8. And the only thing, she's going to be stuck on the rail here. This is the thing about this shot that I don't like, where the 7's going up the other end. See how the cue ball is? That you can't really avoid that. So all you can try to do is place the 7 in a spot that makes it easy for you to make, and she did not do that.
Pretty tough here. It's going to be very, very thin. Oh.
Oh. It was almost like as soon as she hit it, she knew she didn't make it.
It's a good try. That was not that far off. Now Vivian will have a shot at the 7.
Oh, Vivian. Vivian is crashing. Her tornado has run out of air. That was a very makeable shot, especially for Vivian. She loves those cut shots.
And it's like I said, there is not much you can actually say other than this is the point where Vivian has, just as Dawn said, kind of run out of it. 1 rack away from moving on is Jasmine Ocean. Not over yet. We'll see if Vivian can pull herself together and put together some kind of run. She's up against a tough customer here in Durham, North Carolina. The Texas Tornado has run out of room. Will she get back?
This ESPN presentation of the WPBA Carolina Classic, presented by the American Pool Players Association, is brought to you by the American Pool Players Association, the world's largest pool league. By Q-Tech Cues, serious cues for serious players, and choice of the world's most dominant player. And by Durham, where great things happen.
We talked about how tough a day it's been for Vivian Villarreal and Dawn.
One time, baby.
There's a few of these close misses that could have turned things around.
Yeah, just off by inches. And if she had made these couple of shots, it might have changed her momentum. But right now, Vivian is struggling big time. Even shots like this that are very makeable for her, she's struggling with.
That's a perfect example right there of how she's feeling. Jasmine Ocean 1 rack away now on the hill. 6-1, race to 7 to move to the finals. And we will again go back to that big time stat. If you're Vivian, that does not bode well for your chances here. A ball on the break, the 7, Dawn.
Right, no reward here after the break. The 1, she could try to bank it or just leave the cue ball back behind the 5, banking the 1 down the table. The 2 is by the 9, it's open. So just bring the cue ball down the table, or the 1 ball down the table, and the cue ball behind that group of balls. That was very well done.
That's a great safety right there.
Oh, nice. Jeez, now she's not getting things going her way either.
That little shake of the head was as if to say, yeah, that makes total sense given the way everything's going.
Yep.
Ball in hand for Jasmine now. And I think if you're Jasmine, Dawn, you just want this to be over now. You want to move on, get to the finals, set yourself up, make shots. Just kind of keep going the way you've been going and not carry any of this match other than the final score into the finals. You see that
Yep, she should
3 and
be-
the 6 tied up there, Dawn.
Yeah, but she still has a pocket, I believe, Mitch, for that. She just needs to use that left-hand English center left, and it'll spin the cue ball out.
Did not want that, though.
I don't think she used enough of that left, and see, it ran into the 6. It should have come down lower. Now she's going to have to play a safety because there's no pocket for the 4.
Instead of going with that 4 into the corner pocket she had just come from, she has to play that. Give Vivian another chance at the table, not what she wanted to do.
How bad do you think Vivian wants just an open shot, just an easy run out? She'll have to come 3 rails to hit this ball. She just wants to get up, take ball in hand, and get something going.
Go.
Again, just off by inches. This is killer.
And this time, for the second time in this rack, ball in hand for Jasmine. This should be the end of it. Nothing blocked, shots open. And I think Vivian Villarreal ranked 7th coming into this event in Durham this week. Looks like her road is about to end.
Well, she had a great tournament, though.
Absolutely, totally agree.
You know, Vivian is a strong player. She can make any shot on the table. It's just today was not her day. There are just days like that, and this was not her day.
Jasmine Ocean from Klagenfurt in Austria on the southern border, who has been really traveling the world the last few years. With a big-time win here and a chance to pick up the Carolina Classic crown. There's a white flag, the towel thrown in by Vivian. And there is a great gesture by Vivian. She apologizes for not playing better and giving Jasmine the match that Vivian wanted to give her. Good week for Vivian. Congratulations to her. And a very happy Jasmine Ocean. Here is our updated road to the finals. Jasmine in will meet the winner of the Lena Schurzvik-Jeanette Lee semi-final matchup. That one will be a great one. Here's our super shot of the match, brought to you by the American Pool Players Association. In the second rack, leading 1-0 after a terrific break, Jasmine Ocean with that billiard to take a 2-0 lead, and here's Dawn.
How do you feel out there today? You looked very focused, very confident.
Well, I felt great. I mean, I think everybody saw that at the beginning. I had no mistakes. I was playing really well, and I think I put a lot of pressure on her. And there were a few mistakes in the middle, but that's okay. I think I finished well. I was really focused. I had my stroke. I had my rhythm. I'm very happy right now, so I'm going to prepare myself for the final. And I hope I can go on like that.
Great. Well, good luck in the next match.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We've had a wonderful week moving toward its conclusion here at the American Tobacco campus. We're glad you've been with us. Jasmine Ocean moves into the finals and will await the winner of the Jeanette Lee-Lena Schurzvik matchup. For Dawn Hopkins, I'm Mitch Lawrence. So long from North Carolina.